What's up, guys? Got some news. Not so good news either. So we have here the rabbit with the hood popped. What can it be? Well, I'll tell you, it broke down. So Sunday, I was driving to my girlfriend's house, and I had my daughter with me. My girlfriend lives about an hour away, mostly just because of traffic. There's too many people that live around here. I was on the interstate. I was almost there, 10 minutes away. I got off the interstate, and I pushed in the clutch when I got on the exit, and the clutch just fell to the floor. So, yeah, you know what that means? Well, I'll tell you what it means, because I got underneath the car and looked. And as I parked on the side of the road and I got underneath the car, I looked underneath and I saw brake fluid leaking from the transmission, So, yeah, that slave cylinder that I just installed like 2-3 months ago with the new BFI clutch kit failed prematurely. Kind of like the same thing that just happened before that. And now I'm kind of getting my timeline all messed up, because I'm forgetting like exactly what happened when. Because with this car, since I've owned it, it had the turbo diesel 5-speed in it, a great clutch, had a Clutch Masters FX350. The transmission started making noise, so I pulled it, put a 6-speed swap in it with my old BFI Stage 2 clutch kit, and like, this is where I get confused, because I can't remember when I installed this shim kit. I have a shim kit that goes behind the slave cylinder. It's supposed to make the clutch engagement more consistent or whatever, but everything seemed fine at first. But I ended up having the slave cylinder fail in less than a year. And it's a genuine part, genuine OEM metal slave cylinder, failed in less than a year. So I pulled it out. Now, while it was going bad, the clutch disc was getting covered in brake fluid, so I wasn't just gonna replace the slave cylinder and put that clutch back in there. So I saved up a little bit. I got a Stage 3 BFI clutch disc and pressure plate. I resurfaced the flywheel, and the car was down for like 2 months. So I pulled the transmission by myself on jack stands, pulled the clutch off, cleaned everything up, and I'm still trying to work on getting that BFI Stage 3 clutch install video extracted from my old phone. I had some difficulties trying to upload it to YouTube. But yeah, so I'll hopefully upload that soon-ish. Anyway, it's kind of like, the timeline's kind of messed up on that one, especially now. So I pulled the transmission and everything. I put a brand new OEM metal slave in there with the shim kit. New hardware, of course. Everything's torqued down to spec. Put the transmission back in there, and it was driving it, and it was such. And I put that video up. Pretty sure I posted that video of the first start after the transmission went back in. Just so excited. I was so happy to have the rabbit back on the road. And lately, it's been running pretty good. All things considered, considering it's middle of summer in Florida, and it's like 100 degrees literally. Sometimes it'll say 97 degrees, sometimes it'll say 107. I don't really know what the fuck is accurate anymore. I just know it all feels like shit. So, yeah. But it's been running pretty good, and I was looking forward to very soon just getting retuned and installing the ProMAF and the bigger injectors and going through tires like crazy. But then all of a sudden, while it's been driving perfectly fine with zero issues, the clutch slave cylinder decided to give out again. So, as you can imagine, I'm pretty burned out on pulling the transmission. Between the Rabbit and the Jetta that I had before this, I have pulled the transmission like 6 times, maybe more. It's a little ridiculous. So yesterday when it broke down, clutch goes to the floor, can't drive anywhere. Now, technically there is a way I can drive the car still. I could have went to my girlfriend's house, honestly, and she even insisted that I could work on it there. But the last thing I wanted to do is have my car sitting in front of my girlfriend's house, spilling, brake fluid everywhere. So, and who knows what else is leaking. So I I had it towed home. The tow cost $250. So yeah, I was very obviously annoyed and pissed off with what happened, and I was just like, you know what, I'm fucking done. I'm gonna sell the car. So with this video, I am debating on officially selling the car. I already put it up for sale. If you're on the 2.5 group, burn all the Mark 5s, whatever, you already know that it's up for sale. It's more of a feeler, at least, because you know if you put a car up for sale, you'll have 30 people say they want to buy it and they're ready with cash in hand, and only one is going to come and show up and buy it. So I put it up for sale to see what serious buyers will come around. There's like 2 or 3 guys that say they seriously want to get it, and then 2 other guys that want to trade, but I don't want to trade with what they got. So it could sell soon. I'm gonna fix it first, obviously. I'm gonna pull the transmission again and replace the slave cylinder again. And yeah, I'm not happy about this. But when it's fixed, I'm gonna see. I'm just putting it in the universe's hands. If the car sells, then I'll take the money. If it's what I'm wanting for it, then I'll buy something else. I'll tell you right now, it's not going to be a GTI. It's not going to be a Prius. I don't know. It's just I need a reliable daily driver, because the Mark IV shit the bed. Timing went on it. 5,000 miles after the timing kit was done and it failed. Motor's no good. It was an automatic car. The wife fucking put another $1 into it. Bitch is gone. But this car has so many things about it that's reliable, beefed up, stronger, and something that's so difficult to swap went bad again. So I'm gonna do it again. I already got the parts. I'm gonna put another slave cylinder in it. This time I'm not putting the shim kit. It's not gonna go back in. And if someone buys it, if I have a serious buyer come to me with what I'm asking, what I actually want for it, then I'm probably gonna sell the Rabbit. And then a couple things could happen from there. One, I got to think of what I'm going to buy. Should I put majority of the money down and get into a payment, something newer and more reliable, or should I take the money and buy something that's going to be equally as fun for me, but also be reliable? And by reliable, I mean basically I want to get into something. If I sell this car, I want to get into something that's rear-wheel drive, preferably like V8 rear-wheel drive, manual, preferably. And there's a few exceptions to that. It's just tough, if I sell this car and I don't get another 2.5, which I don't see myself doing. I love the 2.5, but if I sell this car, I'm not going to buy a stock one. I'm just not going to want to replace it with anything less than what it is. So then what? I'm gonna have a YouTube channel with a name specifically related to the 2.5s, all content related to 2.5. So it's not the end of the world, but the fact of the matter is I'm 34 years old. I have a 9-year-old daughter. I live by myself, pay all my own bills, no roommate, no wife, nothing like that. I got to do the smart thing, which would be, if a car is giving me continuous issues, I should sell it and buy something that's more reliable. Whether it's a pre-owned Honda Accord or some shit, or get into payments on something that's newer with a warranty. But I just don't want payments, because in my position it's hard to justify having a payment when I'm already paying for everything else. Yeah, just wanted to make this video to show the update of it being broken again, and playing with the idea of it potentially being sold and me not having a 2.5 anymore, which I didn't think would happen for a very long time. In fact, I literally wanted to keep this car for the rest of my days. I wanted to keep this Rabbit, and I wanted to get like a Chevy Tahoe and have that as my daily driver, because I live close to work, and just because it has a V8 doesn't mean it gets shitty gas mileage. It all depends on how you drive it. But I will say this, one thing that's kind of realistic, and it's probably a controversial purchase if I did get one, but it's realistic given the cost. something that I could sell this car and afford to buy, and something that's also fun to drive, modifiable, and also reliable. A C5 Corvette. You know, I was thinking about that maybe. I don't know. If you're watching this video and you want to comment, leave some comments about what you would do. If you're in my situation, think about real hard. If you were in my situation, 34 years old, you have to go to work every day, you need a reliable car, you have a kid, your girlfriend lives an hour away, and maybe those things change, but the fact of the matter is it's still an adult life that has to be lived. Would you fix the car? Like I said, I'm removing the shim, so hopefully this new slave cylinder will not give me problems, but you never know. Would you sell this car? Would you fix the car and keep it? Or would you sell it and get something else? And if you did, what would you get? And since I already put the car up for sale to try to get some buyers lined up, if you don't already know, I have it up for sale. I'm posting it up for $9,500 or best offer. So that's obviously fixed, running and driving. So we'll see what happens. So if you were able to sell this car for $9,500, what would you turn around and buy with it? Something for that amount used that you own? Would you buy something a little bit cheaper and have some money in the bank? Would you take that money and get something with a payment? So leave all that stuff below if you could. We'll leave that video here. I got nothing else to talk about until it's fixed. So anyway, see you guys next time.